Hello.
Hey,
Welcome to Chats with Double A. All the things you wish you could say. We're going to say them for you. Right, Andrea?
right. I'm so excited.
Me too. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be so much
Fun.
fun. And it's nice to have the open space to say what needs to be said.
Safe open space.
Safe open space and healthy open space.
Yes, yes. Because we need that in order to be able to fully express what we need to say.
I agree.
Have to feel safe, have to feel secure, have to feel seen and understood.
Yep.
Don't forget, hydrate. Don't dehydrate. And shout out to Fizz Farm for being amazing. This was not sponsored by Fizz Farm, but I will promote local deliciousness.
Yep.
Wow,
Logo. I'm like,
I got a logo for them.
oh, yeah.
What's in here? No, have not been there in a hot minute. Haven't been anywhere in a hot minute.
I thought you'd been in the hospital for a hot minute. Hey.
No, I mean, I haven't left from here in a hot minute.
Right. Which means you obviously can't go there.
Can't go there, can't go home, can't go to the Smiths that I can see from my window.
Wave hi.
Well,
You know what happened? I told you.
but that I would just lose it and go, ah!
Now that the cuckoo clock would happen.
I didn't even hear the cuckoo
Are you
clock. Yes. I was just like, what is she getting all upset about? Like, I'm just over here expressing my frustration. And she's all laughing away. And I'm like,
serious? Cuckoo.
thank you.
I love it.
Laugh at my pain. My pain. Um, so today, uh, I thought, and you thought, that we could talk about some aspects of communication, mainly the foils of lack of communication, and with a couple of examples in our lives that we thought we would share about that are what did we say, like roadblocks to
That's
communication,
good. Hurdles, obstacles.
hurdles, obstacles. Yeah. So I think one of the main obstacles for good communication is this: for people of all ages, genders. Oh, now it's going to record. Stop. See, you can't do anything.
Are you texting me?
That was yours. Yes. And I was about to like send you a voice memo of what we're talking about right now.
Hey,
Um, this is real life, not fake life.
this is our world.
Where I apparently press buttons. No joke, but we'll tell about that later. Um, so like, because you're giving the device, and it doesn't have to be a phone. It could be an iPad, tablet. It could be a book. Like putting something in between you and the other person is a roadblock for communication because they're not giving whoever has the device, whatever, is not giving you the full attention
I
that you
agree.
need to actively listen.
Right.
Which, Andrea, what is active listening?
Active listening is where you are participating in the conversation. You are engaging with the person. You are listening to them, understanding, comprehending, and then you actually can regurgitate what you're hearing so that they know you're listening. You can say the same thing that what So like people are like, okay, explain to me what I just said. When you actively listen, you can tell them in your own words what you heard, and they will understand that they're heard.
Right. And I think that's one of the most important things is like if you want to have good communication, then not only do you need to be good at speaking, but you also need to be good at listening and not listening to respond, but listening to understand and comprehend and maybe empathize.
I think
Like
a
you
little
don't.
bit of validation,
Mhm.
validate what's being said, because maybe they're talking to you and they don't want you to fix their problems. They're just talking to you because they need to express themselves somehow, some way. Oh my gosh, feeling unheard.
Yeah. So I think like, what was that? I think that's like beeping from your computer or something. That was weird.
It could be. And the cuckoo clock's going, computer's going. So,
All I know is it was not my phone. So
it was my phone. So
it was not the phones. Not the phones. Um, so speaking of actively listening, this is like where my tangent is going. Um, today, the physical therapist and the social worker came to speak to me about going home and like what that looks like all of that kind of stuff. So I drew them a lovely picture. You can see, I don't think you can see it very well.
there we go.
There we go.
Let's see.
Of my house. Yes, I am a skilled artist. This is not drawn to scale. Anyway, but it's like showing them like what are the hurdles for me to be able to go home? Like what's the issues that we need to solve before I can go home? One of them is the fact that my parking lot is gravel, and to get up to the sidewalk in front of my apartment, there's like a lip. And there is no, as far as you're aware too, because you've been there, there's no wheelchair access to that. I didn't think so. Not even over by the stairs,
No,
Steve's place. Yeah.
it's literally just like a sidewalk that goes from there around the building, and then
But it's all up.
the gravel area. Yeah, so there's like a little lip there.
Yeah. So we're trying to like envision what needs to happen. And
What needs to happen is you need to be able to walk.
for realsies. Um, but their goal is to get me home in a whip.
Are you serious? I think you froze. Yeah, she's frozen. And I'm not sure where she's gonna jump back on.
I'm here. Oh, there you are. Okay, so you're over here. I could hear you the whole time,
Oh, that's so funny because I could hear you
but you were frozen.
and you were frozen.
And but I could hear what you were saying, and you're like, "Oh, I wonder when she's gonna jump back on." And then, boom, there we were again.
Saw that. And I was like, oh, apparently she came back.
Been here the whole time. I have
So
no
wait,
idea
when
what's
did
gonna be on the
I
recording.
know, right? When did they say they wanted you home by?
See, and that's the thing. They did not give me a time frame. No time frame. And then the
But
social
what's their
worker,
goal?
they don't even have like a time frame either. Like we
But
want to.
they don't even have a goal.
No.
Accomplish this and we can send you home.
Nope. Nope.
So
And
fun.
see, with my doctor giving me FMLA paperwork that says I should be able to go back to work on the 17th of February. Okay. Let us picture this. I have not done any PT for my legs.
Well, that's because you're non-weight bearing because you've got a broken leg bone.
I know.
I,
But what I'm saying is like they want to send me home, even though I've had no PT, no like, okay, we're slightly repairing, like there's been some remodeling or whatever. Let's start doing something, nothing. So apparently
and now you're frozen again. So I don't know.
guess what? Somebody's coming in. Oh, it's George. What's up?
What's your pain level today? 1 to 10.
Right now?
Well, I guess when we were moving.
Oh, when we were moving, it was like 8.
8? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And then when you're not moving, what would you say?
7.
8's your worst pain.
7.
7? All right.
Sorry, I apologize for all the interruptions. Lovely people. That was the OT, occupational therapist, who got to see my booty today. Mm. There are only so many moments of humiliation that I can handle before I'm going to lose it. We're this close to a complete breakdown. I can't.
You're sharing this?
Why not? This is a safe place for me to feel like crud. I'm going into my safe zone. I'm now putting up my defensive posture.
I can't. Yeah, I can't control this laugh right now.
And you're not even the one on drugs. That would be me.
No substances involved.
Except the extreme ridiculousness of my humiliation the past 2 weeks. Anyway, the whole point was we were doing the occupational therapy of like me being able to transfer from the wheelchair to the actual toilet instead of the bedside commode, right?
Right.
Trying to make progress. And so I have my lovely boyfriend here who is clingy. And so he had to come with. But so we get me in there, and I'm sitting on the little uppity pedestal thing. So I'm not completely on the toilet because the toilet's too low. So anyway, and then he's like, all right, anything else we can do? And I'm like, I really have to pee. Because I'm like now sitting on the toilet, but I have pants on. So I'm like, I need help with my pants because I gotta go potty. I swear, this poor dude. I'm like, I'm sorry. And he's like, can you get your
During all this in my
right? And you're just like, yeah, didn't, by the way, wiped or nothing. Put your pants back on. I'm like, I am not a dude. I don't get to drip dry. Like, now I'm definitely gonna need a shower. Mm. I think that you just needed to laugh today. You and all the viewers out there. So sometimes, like, okay, communication wise, I apparently communicate a little too much.
Just
Give a little bit.
more warning.
I will always be TMI. But I guess I should next time be like TMI. So if you don't want to know, pause now.
You might want to
Skip
skip
ahead. gosh. All right. So anyway, it all turned out just fine. Except for me trying to get back to the chair. Because, oh gosh. Just imagine it's me. I'm a very large human. George is not a very large human and is trying to pull on my pants. Let us just say that the garments went up and then partially of the jeggings happening there. But he's like, "Do you think you can help?" And so I grabbed the bar over on the wall to try and balance, and I like tried to let go and reach, and I'm like, whoop! I'm like, nope, not happening, not happening. So he's like, all right. And he's like, shimmy, shimmy, shake. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this hurts. Stop. So we got it over the booty. And then I got in the wheelchair and had to like pull up the pieces in the front. And then I get done. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. But all I was doing was putting my pants on.
I, I, I
My
can
life is pathetic. It's fine. But here's the thing is, oh man, she took my tray and it had my spoon. Now I can't eat my yogurt.
You still have to wait.
I was gonna eat it.
Well, you're gonna have to wait.
I have to wait until lunchtime now.
Oh, it's already after 11. The cool clock already said it's 11.
I need a spoon. Anyway, so he did listen to me this time. And I was like, listen here, buddy. Like, if we're gonna do this, you gotta listen to me. When I say that's not possible, or that's not doable today, or whatever, And he's like, okay, okay. And I was like, I will do my best to listen to you and do what I can do. I wanted to make sure that he knew I was trying my best, because he have another thing that we will discuss later.
I think that's important.
Yes. Because I don't want people to think. I don't want people to think that I'm not trying, that I'm trying to stay here longer or whatever. And I was like, like anyone who thinks that this is fun is on crack.
They
Maybe
have
some
not
crack
spent that much
cocaine.
time in the hospital.
Like, I don't get to go anywhere. Like, I'm stuck. I was like, I'm even more stuck right now. So it's just like, this isn't fun. Like, I put on a good face and a brave face because I don't want to add to my nurses and CNAs and doctors' worries, because I'm already sick. Obviously, I'm in here, broken. Now my kidneys are sick. So it's like, what do you do? Like,
Right. And that's important that you're heard, that you are doing your best,
yeah.
and it's being acknowledged.
I feel like for everyone needs to be acknowledged for what they're doing and celebrated for even the small achievements, because sometimes all you have is those little victories. You don't have the big miracles every time. Sometimes it's the little baby victories that you're like, yeah, I stood up great that time. Like, and some of my CNAs have been super awesome about like recognizing that and reminding me that like when I first came in, it took 3 people to stand up, and now I can stand up from the bed myself. So it's important to recognize the things that are happening and progressing, and not just like with me, but with anybody, and with what they're doing in their life, that there is progress. And we need to look for those things, because sometimes our friends or our family members or whatever are lost, and they need us to build them back up and say, no, no, you haven't failed. Look at this. You've done this, and you've done this, and you've done this. And it's important to acknowledge that, because sometimes the person doesn't see it.
Right. Well, and oftentimes as adults, and even sometimes as youth, you're given a negative and a negative and a negative and a negative. For every one negative, you need at least 10 positive things behind it to discount that one negative. So if you're just given negative stuff, and you've got no positive stuff behind it, guess what kicks in? The depression, the mental health,
Uh-huh.
all that horrible stuff that eats at us because we've got no positive like reinforcements coming
Right.
behind those negative, like just pointing out your flaws. Like everybody has flaws. I have flaws. I admit it. And you know what? I can see them. I don't need to point it out.
You're like, please do not give me a chart with you're failing here and here and here.
You need more
Here.
improvement here and
You
here.
need to have more here. And I'm like, thank you for pointing out all my failings.
Hey,
Thank you.
and what's needed is you're doing amazing. Look at this. Look how much you've grown. Look at the progress you made. Look how amazing you are at this.
Yes. I need a sticker chart. Put it on my door. Like, look, you got out of bed 5 times today with nobody's help.
There you go. Yay.
Right? Like it sounds pathetic and it sounds weak and all that, but TMI, when you are in this state of being, emotions, you have to have the positive reinforcement, or you get lost in all the sorry.
When they get lost, that's when you call on your people you know are going to show up. And those people will show up with those positive reinforcements, pitchforks, everything like signs, banners, everything to enforce the positive and the good that you're creating and that you're putting out. And that's very important.
I think it can be like soul crushing when all that is pointed out to you is what's wrong and how you're not meeting expectations.
I agree. And when it is soul crushing, like, what do? You kind of just take that, you analyze it, and your subconscious is going to look for proof that what's being said is true. Without you even knowing, it's going to look for proof. And if that's all it sees, that's what it's going to see.
Right. Especially if that's all that's given to you.
Right.
If you don't even have like the positive proof to go through, then, obviously all you're going to see is the negative, because there is no positive to see.
Right.
That's given by someone else. And sometimes you need someone else's light to shine that so that you can see what it is that you are doing well. And, sometimes you need to know the impact that you have on other people's lives. To be like, okay, I'm not useless. I'm not worthless. Because emotions.
Because you're creating a difference. and inspiring others without any acknowledgement. But you can't see it sometimes because you're in too deep. That's when somebody else on the outside could say, hey, and be able to point it out.
I noticed something today as I was doing my PT this morning. Um, my physical therapist was talking about presence. And I was like, well, that was kind of a deep share there that I wasn't really prepared for. Um, but I was like, hey, that's great that you're trying to like get help. And he said sometimes I just feel useless and all these kinds of things. And I was like, you are not useless. I said, think of all the people that you help in a day just to be there to support me as I roll down the hallway. And, like he was very, very kind and being like, look at that. You made it over the threshold without having help. I'm like, yeah, go me, little victories, little victories. Because when you are basically trapped in a situation that you can't really escape, I don't have a magic wand. I can't, like, what is her name? Madame Pomfrey? Harry Potter. I can't just new leg.
Right.
I definitely don't want Professor Lockhart trying to do the new leg because I'll have jello for a leg, and that's not gonna work. Yes, I am a Harry Potter fan. I will bring it up often.
I feel like anybody in any circumstance can get all those negatives. Like your PT was going, I feel like I'm useless. No, he's helping everybody daily or weekly or whatever. Like he's helping all these people. But even mentally, he's had so much negative. His subconscious has found the negative reinforcements. So he's obviously thinking negative.
Right.
He's not had those positive reinforcements.
Yeah. And so I try to like build him up. And I wanted him to leave me smiling. Um,
Did that happen today?
yeah, he left with a smile on his face.
Yay, mission accomplished.
I think so. This is like kind of what I want to like leave you guys with today from me is that people will not always remember the things that we've done for them. They may not remember all of the cards that we've sent when they're sick or the flowers or whatever, but they will always remember the way that you made them feel. What kind of feeling do you want to leave them with? Do you want them to think of you as someone who brought, emotions
and joy into their lives?
like
Or
sunshine? Someone tell me that I am pure sunshine. And I was like, I don't even like the sun.
what we need to work on, Alyssa, is accepting.
I know. I don't.
Work on
I'm
accepting.
terrible at accepting
you.
compliments.
No, don't put that out there.
No, I'm just. It's a fact. I'm
Oh,
horrible
no,
at it.
not even verbalizing that. Don't put it out there. Because when you verbalize, you're like putting it out there for it to come back.
Let me finish. Because I always tell people when I hear them like, no, no, I'm not, or whatever. I was like, excuse me. accept the compliment and say thank you. And they're like, thank you. I was like, better. Like, because it's like not just me, and it's not just, the people that I'm around, but it's everyone. Everyone has a hard time accepting a compliment because they don't believe it about themselves. So we all need to learn how to, when someone tells you that you're pure sunshine, to be like, thank you. I like to bring joy to others.
There you go.
You have to come up with a response that you are comfortable with to accept whatever compliment is given to you that will validate that person's feelings about you, because they want to be heard as much as they want you to hear them.
It's true. I know I'm trying to teach my kids about accepting compliments, like you said, because everybody struggles with this. Because if you don't accept it, oftentimes you're shown as like stuck up or snobby or whatever. It doesn't have a humbling. That's bullshit. Let's put it out there. It's bullshit. So, I started this game with my youngest when he was little, and I'd be like, "You are amazing," and then he would be like, no, no. I go, no, no, no. You gotta say thank you. And so he'd say thank you, and then he'd look at me, and I go, okay, now it's your turn to come up with something from me. Nothing can be the same. So we go
Mm-hmm.
back and forth like this to see how far and how many words we can come up with that are positive, that are healthy, that we see in each other. So it's been fun to watch that, and we'll pick it up like this, and he just knows just to go with it. Or he'll do
Right.
that with me. I know where we're going, what we're doing, but it's one thing.
Every time. Every time. It's okay. You can come in. You can come in. We're at the end.
But it's one thing to build that confidence
Just end. Like, just wait.
in the children you're with and the youth you're with. Build
Yeah.
up confidence, because that's where it stems from.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it stems from childhood. So when you can build up that confidence in them, they will be
Mm-hmm.
seeing it out later.
It's true. Be confident. Remember who you are. Be who you are. And do it loud
I'm proud.
and proud.
Sounds good. See you next
Animo.
time.